You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. We are coming to you still from the Coconut Grove Regency Hotel here in Accra. And this is a special edition trying to review some of the major issues that have happened in the course of the week. And we're doing the politics session. And as you would realize, it is really a conversation between our guest and you, who is watching or listening right now, but of course those who are seated here in the studio have a brighter opportunity of asking the questions. You can send them also by email and text, and we'll be able to share them with our guests who are seated here. We're going to do a brief session on politics, and then we'll return to other matters of governance and corruption and the economy as well. And I've got guests that you love to listen to, so keep your dials still here. We'll do a very quick sabbatical and you take some very important lesson out of that. So let's get ready for that one. It's been always said that giving is better than receiving. True. That's why Bank of Africa presents to you the Season of Giving promo. From now to the 31st of January 2016, deposit at least 300 Ghana cedis into your savings or current account, maintain or build your deposit until end of promo, and automatically you win a prize. Yes. No draws, everyone wins. Win fantastic prizes such as cars, smartphones, TVs, fridges, and many more. Remember, the more you top up, the bigger the prize you get. Visit any Bank of Africa branch to participate. Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. How big is your dream? Are you on MTN? Your MTN number could change your life with MTN Dream Number. Win up to 10,000 cedis cash daily when 2 to 7 digits of your MTN number match exactly with the daily drawn number from right to left. All you have to do is send START to 451 to subscribe daily for only 60 pesos. Your MTN number could make you rich. Terms and conditions apply. MTN, everywhere you go. And welcome to the new world of business. Also, this show is brought to you by the kind of sponsorship of Star Assurance. And Star Assurance, what they do is that they make sure that any insurance policy that you take with them, it puts you in a position where you feel as though the dangers in this world don't exist at all, and that the perils that we go through don't also exist. So insure with Star Assurance today and be part of this smiling family. Star Assurance, starassurance.com, or visit any of their offices nationwide. You can call them 0302 240632 and enjoy solid insurance policies all round. Star Assurance, your partner. It's your solid partner. And Sasso Spray kills mosquitoes, cockroaches, houseflies, ants, and other crawling and flying insects. Sasso Mosquito Coil is smokeless. Sasso Spray leaves a sweet lemon fragrance in your room till the next day. Sasso Mosquito Coil and Spray, they are free from catarrh, headache, and chest infections. Insist on Sasso anytime you need an insecticide. Sasso. That's fresh and powerful. Well, now quickly, in some 2-3 minutes, let's take the next quick sabbatical read. Very, very quick, and then we move on. Thank you very much. Where's our microphone? Let's do that quickly. Let's do that very quickly with our sabbatical. And the books are out there. You can grab some. I've already picked some people who get some of the books. I've told you the way I'm doing it. Our guest here last week bought us 5 books each. Not everyone here. And then those who are coming in here, some have also bought us some more, about 5 each, and we are giving them to you. So if you're here and you ask the questions, we give them to you. That's the only criteria. Ask a question.
I'm reading from chapter 1. Why Rome was built, but not in a day. I greet you in the name of Kapuchichi, whose mantra was Kanu, loosely translated as speak your mind and darn any consequences, and who was the only one to ask the Omanhene, whether he couldn't realize it himself when he was sebi, not acting wisely. One day soon, I'll tell you all about the legend of Kapuchichi, a drunk who spoke his mind, but mind you, what a man says when he's drunk, he thought about while he was sober. When overtaken by the spirit which is imbibed in liquid form and manifests later in gaseous state via the buccal cavity, Wafa Kapuchichi was known to take short calculated steps from the Liberty Fan Club to the Oman Hinis Palace. Confronted by the children who used to follow him and queried if he would ever get to his destination at this slow pace, Wafa would retort and say that even the ant reached its destination so long as it didn't stop walking. We love to quote the saying, Rome was not built in a day. But we fail to remember that Rome was eventually built, and it must have been so magnificent that when people admired it, they were told that it did not happen in just a day. The question then is, if Rome was not built in a day, how was it built? The answer is, it was built every day. When I studied for a year in Nottingham for my postgrad degree, one of the things that struck me the most was that any time I went to the city center, some construction work was ongoing, and by the time I went again, it would be completed and another one would have started. Sometimes, road repairs would happen overnight. A tram line would be laid where it wasn't before. Little projects. But then, the city center was also changing before my very eyes. Building Nottingham, just like Rome, one day at a time. The one day at a time concept, little steps for which one can be proud, is a key lesson to pick. It was Confucius who said, "Be not afraid of growing slowly, be afraid of only standing still." And this reflects for me how Rome was built, slowly but surely. However, once there's forward movement, incremental momentum builds and acceleration ensues. Nkrumah declared that we face neither west nor east, that we face forward. But see, it is also possible to face forward and just look at the horizon. Sometimes, as I think of Ghana, I'm tempted to think that we kept looking east and west and never made up our minds, so we just stood still. And I have countless examples of sectors in our economy and nation building where instead of building every day, we have demolished. Our railways, our museums, our libraries, our schools, our educational system, our parks and gardens, our films, our writing, our road infrastructure, our energy generation and supply, our manufacturing, our lives. Ghana will not be built in a day, but it should be built every day. And the body that houses the eyes reading this owns the hands that will ensure this. Till I come your way with another sabbatical, I remain sabbatically yours, Kapuchichi Wafase. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Makini Padiki Kujo. Thank you very much. He just did the sabbatical reading for us. And as we said, the purpose is so that, you know, we are free to speak and say it as it is. And that book just chronicles the things that happen in this country and is a reflection of ourselves. And sometimes you read and you see the things and you ask yourself whether we're serious with the way we're doing things in this country. Where, for example, last week I was reading about the motorway and how we keep patching it and all the time in a way that is not sustainable. Thank you very much. Those books are still around and you can buy and read them. It's a satire and it helps us to look at ourselves, laugh, and then correct the wrong things that we are engaged in. Now, the only new face that's joined us for this segment, which will be as brief as we can, is Abdul Malik Kweku Bako. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Now, we want to look at a couple of the issues that have happened in the course of the year. Of course, there will not be issues in the political, landscape without the NPP's problems. And every day, the NPP's problems continue to, grow. As we speak, the General Secretary and a second Vice Chairperson have also been suspended. We'll look at that briefly. We'll look at the President and what's the big deal about endorsing his Vice President to partner him for 2016. Thank you, and my guests, you have your questions, the most interesting political issues that came up and that you want my guests to address. They will address them to you. But remember, when you're asking your question, you have 40 seconds. They have 2 minutes to respond to a question that you put to them. If I ask them the question, they have 3 minutes to do so. They have the opportunity to rebut, and the rebuttal is 1 minute. Each has only 2 opportunities to do the rebuttal or reaction or explanation. Now, maybe I start with the question of the NPP, and you are here, you represent the NPP, you're a member of parliament. Your problems don't seem to go away. There are people who are complaining now that the decision to suspend Kwabena Agyapong and also Sami Krab, that's not the way to solve your problems. If you find someone who has views that you don't agree with, you suspend them. This is a group. You can't have everybody thinking the same way. So you are never going to end your problems if you find that this is a problem.
Thank you very much. The first observation I want to make is that every human institution is bound to have problems at a particular point in time. What matters is how the problem is resolved. The second one, the foundation of democracy is the rule of law. That is why we have laws governing human society. Else, everyone could do whatever he or she likes. What is happening in NPP, I wouldn't have wished we have gotten this far. But once there's a problem, the law provides a cure. Once we are using the law, I don't see anything wrong with whatever decision that has been taken, unless somebody can prove and justify that any decision that has been taken was or is in contravention of the NPP constitution.
What people are asking is that for us, as far as you are concerned now, dissent is wrong. And no. So anyone who disagrees with the group, so to speak, as in the executive, then that person will be asked.
Yeah, I have to lay the basis for people to have better appreciation of whatever I'm going to say. Now, what do we mean by people having dissenting views? I don't think that is the issue. What does maybe Article 3D of NPP Constitution say? What does maybe Article 4 of the NPP Constitution say? Has anybody done anything that contravenes any of these provisions? If somebody does that, what is the remedy? How do we go about it? Now, people have been taken to the disciplinary committee because there are people who are not happy about the conduct of certain officers of the party and legally complained to the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee also has the right to listen to them. They've invited them. Some refused to attend to the hearing of the disciplinary committee. There are others who did attend to the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee has no right whatsoever to suspend somebody. What they can do is to submit their report to the authority within the structure of the party that is mandated to consider the report of the disciplinary committee. The report went to the appropriate structure, that's committee, that's the National Executive Committee. They also had a look at it and made their recommendation also to the National Council that has the final authority to take a decision on that report. Once this process has been followed and the people were given the opportunity to clear themselves, I don't see anything wrong with it. Political parties in this country have had similar problems. Josiah, what happened to him in NDC? Obeda Samoa, what happened to him in NDC? Nana Kunedu Ajima, what happened to him in NDC? Here in NDC? And these people, even to a greater extent, form different parties, new parties. Guzitando formed his party. Obeda Samoa formed his party. Nana Kunedu also formed NDP. Even here, we've not even gone to that extent. See, even people.
Okay, so you hold on. I'm sure that a lot of questions will come to you from the public. Don't worry. A lot of questions will come to you. Yes, who has a microphone? A party that is going into 2016, removing its major executives that way. That's the question that people are asking. Yes, who's got the microphone? Okay, please introduce yourself quickly. You have 40 seconds.
My name is Alaji Halidu Haruna. I want to find out from the honorable member that between the constitution of the NPP and the constitution of Ghana, which of the two does your party respect?
I don't think you needed even to ask this question because it's obvious. We respect first the national constitution, but because any law in this country that contravenes a provision in the national constitution is a travel.
Okay. That question obviously was an incomplete question. Can I say so? Yes, so, but please, when you're asking a question, 40 seconds, yes.
I ask the question in respect of the respect for the constitution is that you have a situation where Afoko was invited by the state institution, and you use that as a basis for his suspension. The police invited him to actually respond to a petition by a member of your party in respect of diversion of finances of your party.
Okay,
and
thank you.
Use that as a basis.
Thank you. You've made a point. You've made a point.
I'm quite sorry. Maybe you did not read the report and recommendations of the disciplinary committee, and then the decision taken by the NEC and the final stamp given by the National Council. This is in part.
Thank you.
My name is Kweku Enchibu Esiakon. My question to Honorable and maybe Mr. Kweku Bako Jr. Would the NPP consider adopting Article 26 from the NDC's constitution that basically make the flag bearer the leader of the party? Would that possibly forestall what is currently happening in the NPP?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, quickly and quickly.
I'm surprised to say whether we are we are not going to adopt NDC constitution. Any amendment we want to make to our constitution will be what is relevant for the party and this country, but not based on because somebody has done this we are going to do. But even then, the flag bearer, when elected, becomes the leader of the party. If you don't know, that is
Could he ask your view of that?
Well. I have checked the NPP constitution thoroughly, and maybe if I'm wrong, I can be easily corrected. But I don't see anywhere in that constitution the flag bearer being made the leader of the party. It isn't there. It doesn't exist. It appears the flag bearer has just a moral authority and influence which could be exercised if all other leaders decide to go in a certain direction. That may help. Maybe looking ahead, they may want to do something of that sort, but I'm wondering whether that is a total cure for any mischief. I'm not sure. The NDC constitution makes the president the flag bearer the leader, but we recently had problems with the NDC. They've had their own fair share. It may not be on the same magnitude like the NPPs, to be fair, in terms of the analysis.
Okay.
But then they do have problems of their own. So there's nowhere in the constitution that I have seen the flag bearer declared the leader of the party if they are in opposition. I haven't seen that.
The next question.
Just 20 seconds. It has been the convention in the party. Don't forget, even when you come to parliament, we use laws, rules, regulations, and conventions.
The gentleman referred to the constitution in asking his question.
Yeah.
The premise was within the constitutional context. And I'm saying that within this constitution, a copy of which I'm holding here, it's not explicitly let me
Yeah.
emphasize explicitly.
Kweku, I'm not
stated
debating your position.
that
That's
the
why when
flag
I
bearer is a
started,
leader.
that's why when I started, I said whether we will do that in our constitution or not, we are not going to look at NDC constitution. We will look at what is good for our party and the people of Ghana.
Okay.
But what
made
pertains in the
that
party,
point.
then I
You've
said
made
what
that point. Let's
pertains
take
in
the
the
question,
party now
please.
is that the
Who's
flag
got
bearer
the
is the leader of
microphone?
the
Let's take
party.
the
Yes,
question.
two different things.
I hear you.
Introduce yourself and ask the question. Go ahead.
My name is Kingsley Haruna, a student of AUCC. I want to ask that it was reported in the media a few days ago that the flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was quoted as saying the party will deal with the spies in their midst. Now, with respect to the recent suspension of the second vice chairperson and that of the general secretary, is it to reinforce that report? And also, given the historical antecedent about 1979 general elections and what happened to the party, would these recent happenings really inure to their benefit?
Okay, thank you. The question is asked. If you go beyond the 40 seconds, I'll cut you, and I'm going to stick to it, even to my guest.
Okay, first of all, I've never heard Nana Akufo-Addo saying it. I also read on the internet, social network, and I tried to find out whether it's true. The response I got was that it's not true. Some people have just posted those things there. Whoever posted it, that one I can't tell, and I've never heard it from him. Again, you see, when you have a problem and you decide to close your eyes over that problem, ultimately it could become a cancer and not curable. It's advisable to have a problem, bring it out, discuss it, and solve that problem once and for all, rather allowing it to become a cancer. I don't want it to be cancerous, and I don't want us to have that problem. A decision has been taken. I'm not going to say who is right and who is wrong. Once the constitution of the party has been applied, I'm okay with it. Thanks.
Thank you. Who has the microphone? Yes, is a contribution?
A contribution.
Could you also free a former general secretary of the NPP? Yes.
Well, it appears to me that the NDC appears to be crying louder than the bereaved as far as these issues are concerned. And anytime that you find somebody who attends a funeral, say a lady crying more than the widow, then there's something wrong with that, and therefore we ought to go behind the veil and then to see why that interest is. You understand? The point that I'm making is that, first of all, we have gone through the motions, the disciplinary processes. People were offered the opportunity to defend themselves. They have had their time. Recommendations are made to the National Executive Committee of our party, and those decisions have been made. If anybody is aggrieved by that decision, there is a higher tier, which is the National Council of our party, to ask them to look at it as Afoko did. And ours is like the court system. Our National Council is our Supreme Court, and that is the highest decision-making body out there.
Okay,
if somebody is not happy, but
that point is made. When you're making a contribution, you take 1 minute to do that, and you have done that.
That this decision has nothing to do with Akufo-Addo. It has so much to do with.
So if we can keep it at that, the decision has nothing to do with Mr. Nana Akufo-Addo. The reference to the NDC, and this is very obvious that you appear to be so excited about this.
On the contrary, we are dealing with serious business of transforming Ghana, serious business of building more schools, serious business of building more hospitals, fixing the energy challenge. The NPP must understand that what they are dealing with has to do with two things. Number one, and the most important one, has to do with poor leadership and lack of organizational skills. The second one has to do with the corruption that is deep-seated in there, which they have not been able to manage. When I talk about poor leadership, the NPP has been here before, but appropriate and effective leadership dealt with it in a way that even saw the NPP becoming even much more stronger.
You have a minute.
But for the kind of challenges that we are seeing today. And I'm reading from Kantinka Donkofojo's book. It says, in a story written by Steve Mallory in the issue of the African Observer of Monday, June 15 to Sunday, June 20, 1998, Mr. Kwadwo Impianim, the director of finance of Kufuor's 1996 campaign, made an attack on the chairman of the party. He accused Mr. Ajete of engaging in a politically motivated fishing expedition. It goes on and on and on and on. It continues. Impianim also alleged that Ajete had been conspiring and plotting with some political generals to reduce the influence of Kufuor in the NPP and scuttle his bid for a second attempt at the presidency. That was when he was coming for the second time as a flag bearer. He alleged that Kwame Donkofojo, the Ashanti regional chairman of the party, was one of the architects of the dirty scheme to destroy Kufuor. These allegations were, of course, hotly denied by both Peter Ajete and Dr. Donkofojo, who described them as absurd. The NPP has been here before, but quality leadership, better organizational skills on the part of President John Agyekum Kufuor, then candidate John Agyekum Kufuor,
thank you.
made sure they didn't descend into the kind of decay,
thank you. You are done. You are done.
putrefaction
Yes,
that
you
they
are
find
done.
themselves
You are done.
now.
Yes, you are done. You have only 2 reactions. If you take it, you have 1 left, right?
No, let it.
Okay. Yes. Introduce yourself. Yeah. Okay. Contribution, is it?
My name is Gary. I think I should respond to Omani Buama. First of all, it appears that their concern is about Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo doesn't appoint who becomes chairman of the party. He cannot hire and fire like the president does if he's surrounded with incompetent ministers. Get that clear. Secondly, this is not the first time that Akufo-Addo has become a flag bearer. He lost to Kufuor in '98, and we did not see this kind of problems. Okay? He was a minister, he served, and he has been a flag bearer. He even brought on board those who contested against him to work with him. The only thing that has changed are those who are chairman, general secretary, national organizer, but the flag bearer remains the same. So if that same flag bearer was there in 2008 and 2012 and you had no difficulties, I don't think it is fair to your common sense to see him as the problem. You know, just use a bit of common sense, because this is the man who's been there. You have been here. You have the same presidential candidate. He hasn't had any problem bringing on board those who contested against him.
Okay.
So I think really, let's put the propaganda aside.
You're done with your time. Wait. Okay, so you do that in a minute.
You see, Gabi Asarache Darko is part of the reason why Nana Akufo-Addo will never be president in this country. Your response this morning clearly demonstrates, and you see, per your closeness to your flag bearer, if I were you, I would be measured in the way I go about my business. Talk to your party people and what they think and say about you. This is not the first time you have done this on a
I think
Newsfile
you don't have to you don't have to take it to a personal level. No, I think that's wrong. You don't have to take it to a personal level. You want to say something. What I want to do exercising my discretion is that I believe that we could assess that issue quickly by allowing me to invite the guests to assess the issue rather than take extra questions that veer into different other issues on the issue. Yes. Okay, quickly. And that's your last, so you're exhausted.
No.
You did the first one. Okay, go ahead.
Now I'll even leave all the two. Let them finish now.
Okay. Now, Kweku, the question is, I'm putting this question to Kweku. Kweku, the question is, the happenings in the NPP, 2 top executives, 3 have been removed. Will this hurt the NPP in 2016 elections?
Well, I'm not about to look into the crystal ball when it comes to looking into the future relative to election results. We might have to wait to see what happens. They could be there and the party could still lose an election. So really, I'm not too sure whether there's a direct relationship between the suspensions and the performance of the party come election day. Look, I think that some people in the party, and in this case, it's obvious. I'm talking of the chairman, the general secretary, that is the suspended chairman, the suspended general secretary, and the suspended absentee second vice chairman, miscalculated the balance of forces in the party. They overestimated the significance of the Tamale verdict and began, when they came into office, to take certain steps, certain measures that backfired. These are facts. Some of those measures were eventually withdrawn, and those people who were asked to leave were reinstated. These were measures that were taken not in consultation with the appropriate organs of the party. These are facts. There were situations where the Constitutional and Legal Committee of the party was not even consulted on decisions that bordered on legality and constitutionality. That subculture of people thinking that they had all the powers vested in them. When if you read this constitution, and I'm not a member of the party, I'm an analyst, I've taken my time to study the party's constitution, you can see the element of collective power. There's not an individual who can actually seize the initiative in this party. There are people who suddenly forgot the tradition and conventions and the history of the party and began to think that because they were chairmen, general secretaries, and second vice chairpersons, they could do whatever they wanted to do. Go check the petitions, check the disciplinary proceedings, get the facts and analyze them. And you'll be in no surprise at all that it was a subculture of indiscipline that has brought the party to this level. I had always advocated a certain policy, I was told it was quite weird, of containment and progressive neutralization. Leaving them in there, gather the momentum, a special campaign period, and there will be of no significance. But they continued. You
have 30 seconds to finish.
I'm sorry, yes.
You didn't expect that the committee will remove or suspend Kwabena Japan. It has happened.
I didn't say that. I said there was unanimity on the level of the disciplinary committee for a suspension. But I was thinking that his conduct, unlike that of the chairman and the second vice, was of mitigating effect, that they could be moderate. That's a personal opinion I expressed. Others raised issues with me that there would be lack of consistency if he was handled in that way. And there were people ready to play the ethnocentric card.
Okay.
Relative to that.
Right.
So I can see that the party was pushed to undertake an extreme decision.
Right. Thank you, John.
It's as simple as that.
John, the thing is that there's now also fresh reference to the NDC that similar things are happening. You are suspending your MPs and MP aspirants. So what's the big deal?
The NDC is not so much interested in the troubles of the NPP. We have demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that when it comes to Nana Akufo-Addo, he's Coco. And the facts are there. President Mays beat him hands down. President Mahama held him, put him down, and beat him hands down.
What do you mean by hands down? Because
I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious. He beat him hands down.
At the point, it took 10.
Allow the propaganda.
It took 10 to decide the election.
Can I? Hands down. Look, he beat him hands down. 40 days of effective campaigning neutralized 2 years of campaigning. And so in 2016, we want a united NPP. So that when we are breaking them, we break them from the back and break them well. So let it be known that, look, we are not interested in fomenting trouble. But you know, when confusion in the party, when rancor, when acrimony, when animosity escalates to a level where weapons are being used, it's of concern to us. It's of concern to the nation. And so when we express our concern, all we are saying is that clean your house, show leadership. And that is what Dr. Mani talked about. Nanado was the flag bearer for the 2008 elections, his main opponent left the party. Alan Tremantin left the party, citing confusion, citing all kinds of reasons for leaving the party. This is not the first time. And so if you create the impression as if nothing has happened, and that in Nana Akufo-Addo's bid to become president, there's not been a problem in the party. Problems will occur, problems will arise. And unlike Kweku's situation, containment, demonstrate leadership. Let's judge, let's talk, let's deal with the situation. That is why the NDC remains a formidable force. And you see, if you have President Mahama as the leader of the NDC, please be very, very careful. Because you are dealing with a colossus. You are dealing with a humongous political animal that can deal with you in a fraction of a second. And so please, let's be very, very careful. You understand? So let's be very, very careful. You see, what I want the NPP to do is to be fair to people. Yes, if you want to discipline Kobna Japan, fair enough. If you want to discipline Afoko, fair enough. But let that be fair. I've heard people accuse Paul Afoko of sniffing cocaine. Leading members of the party. I've heard people accusing the chairman of being mad. You see, when there is discipline, let the cane or let the sword cut on both sides. Let it not be seen as if a section of the party are being discriminated against. So when you discipline Afoko, discipline the others who are making similar utterances, who are pulling the party back. And if you want us to give examples, I don't want to mention names. If you wanted to mention names of people and their utterances in the party, especially those who insult, those who make false allegations against the chairman. You heard Kobna Japan lamenting the kind of difficult situations you have to go through.
You've actually exhausted your time. I thought I was going to hear the example, at least one.
I can give you a clear example. Your original chairman in the northern region called Kobna Japan, used word and virtually insulted. I don't like repeating those words.
Okay.
Bugri Nabu did it.
Okay.
And it's on record. If you want, I'll play it for you.
Okay.
You see,
well,
finally, please, let me just land by saying that, look,
you've done over 30
look, if
seconds.
your mother is dead and we pretend that he's alive, in the evening, when we are going for food from our mothers,
thank you.
You will be left alone.
One
It's
minute.
as simple as that.
That's the rule. 1 minute.
It was
for
this
reaction.
recollection of the resignation of my very good friend, Mr. Alan Tremantin, election during, was it a Congress 2007? You know, in 1998, after the Sunyani Congress, Akufo-Addo had problems also with certain things that were happening in the party. He actually formally petitioned then chairman Odoi Sais on the issues that some of his supporters and people were being harassed left, right, and center. The party took it up and subjected it to some inquiry. Nana Akufo-Addo did not resign. You know what that meant? It gave the party the appropriate catalyst to continue stabilizing the momentum they had gained in Sunyani. I think that we should take a look at that. Thank you.
You say you have a reaction to make. 1 minute.
First of all, we should not forget that Nana Akufo-Addo, as flag bearer, had Nano Hintu at a point as General Secretary. He had Mark Menu there, Sir John. We didn't have these problems. So you cannot attribute a problem today to Nana Akufo-Addo. We have somebody we voted for to lead this country. And when people commit serious corrupt practices, they are withdrawn to the presidency. That person has the power to fire and engage. But the president prefers rather to withdraw them to his comfort zone. That is the presidency. Next one, in 2008, I've been hearing you people that President Mills, 2012, President Mills beat Nana Akufo-Addo. You see? President Mahama. The issue here is the sudden death of President Mills, for which us today, we don't even know the reason, what happened. Gave some sort of sympathy vote. If we are told why President Mills and how President Mills passed away, then Ghanaians wouldn't have had that sympathy.
You have exhausted your time. Thank you. Can we move on to the next issue? Can we move on to the next issue? Okay. No. Can we move on to the next issue, please? Okay. 1 minute, and then I'll take 1 minute, and then I'll take 4 questions.
Thank you very much, Samson. I think that the NPP can continue to celebrate mediocrity in leadership. You have a flag bearer who have lost you 2 successive elections. It is up to you to decide to hail him. So we are going into the 2016 elections wishing that the NPP will put their house in order. If they will not, we are going to expand the over 300,000 gap that was given in 2012 to almost 1 million. And that is up to them to decide. Lack of organizational skills, corruption is what is leading to all that we are seeing. On record, President Mahama has not moved any minister who has engaged in corruption to the presidency. If he has the evidence, let him put the evidence out here.
He's pointing, for example, to Evisefi
Has he cited a specific example? You are a lawyer, Samson. You must pin him to specifics.
Well, why was he removed? That's a question.
Do presidents give the reasons why they, because of what Honorable is alluding? This is clearly,
I think why people refer to that is because in the moment, that was what it is, that there was allegation, and those allegations were being investigated. On the basis of that, he was removed and then called to the castle.
And so allegations become facts.
The Flagstaff House, I mean.
They become gospel truths.
Okay.
I think that a member of parliament can do better.
All right,
than this.
thank you. Now I take 4. Yes, you. Okay, give it to the gentleman who hasn't spoken yet. Sorry, I'll come to you.
Thank you, Samson. My name is Israel Venenye. I'm the former coordinating secretary for the National Union of Ghana Students. I think that when it comes to issues of corruption, it's important that we deal with facts. Just to add up to what the Honorable Member of Parliament said as a reaction. When Evisefi Ankara was removed and sent to the presidency, there was a commission of inquiry that was established to look into matters that happened in Brazil. The commission engaged Ernst & Young to conduct a forensic audit into the accounts of the ministry. As we speak, the report of the commission, there is nowhere in that report where the minister was cited for embezzlement, corruption, or any other issue. So it is important for us that we don't paint every politician as a thief. We don't paint everybody with the same brush.
Okay,
so investigations were conducted, allegations were made. The man had his opportunity.
Thank you.
And the commission's report has
Thank
not
you. Who is
indicted
next?
in any way.
Thank you. Please, can we give the microphone to Doc? Yes.
Thank you very much. Sit down. Okay. Dr. Ivan Sagridakun, Department of Political Science, University of Ghana. I think one fundamental point has to be made. Politics is a noble business. So I am against people who say that this is political, this is not political. What is politics? Authoritative allocation of values for the whole society. So if somebody has to decide who should get what, when and how, and who should pay, that is politics. So when people are saying that, oh, we should take politics out of this and politics out of that, that is why they will tag you politicians as corrupt. Because then you see that we introduce some Machiavellianism. The issue of corruption, the issue of underhand dealings, the use of cunning methods, deceit, killing, maiming, etc. So I want us to project this very well, that politics is a noble activity which will be interested in distributing resources for all of us. And all of us must have a stake. So public policies are inherently political.
Okay.
Let's get that facts right.
When you're
and
making
then
a contribution,
the second issue,
it is
just
1 minute and you are done.
You've denied me for a very long time. Let me just make this point. I thought I was a mere passenger. So let me make this one point. That it is also important for us to underscore the critical role of political parties in any democracy. So I tell my students that political parties are ubiquitous in any state. So I want to see very vibrant political parties, whether in government or in opposition. And I will expect that as opposition political party, NPP, they will reorganize themselves.
All right, thank you.
retool,
Thank you.
and
Can we have the next question? And
thing
you are
that they
still
have
here
to offer.
on Newsfile on Joy 99.7 FM, also on television. This is your Joy News channel on multi-TV, and the show is brought to you by Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN, welcome to the new world. Sasso Spray, strong, fresh and powerful, and Star Assurance, that's the group that's been creating Smile since 1985 and calling on you to join them to celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Lipton Tea, your #1 tea brand all over the world, and Yumvita, it is the delicious way to grow. Who's got the microphone? Yes, question. Contribution, which is
more of a short contribution.
Okay, 1 minute.
That it surprises, and rather shouldn't even surprise us, that there's so much interest in the internal affairs of the NPP, because naturally we are the most viable alternative and we will be in charge. Look, over this weekend and during the NPDC primaries, do you know the amount of violence that went on? As at this weekend, no, billboards were being bent in Tamale Central lawlessly, but it tends to our disadvantage that because we've been media friendly over the years, we easily discuss ourselves in the media. The NDC are closed-mouthed, and therefore we do not hear what is going on. It is one of the most lawless, internally lawless parties we have in this country. You routinely have NDC foot soldiers rampaging and holding the leadership by the tail. The NDC is not led by the head, it is led by the tail.
Your time is up. Thank you very much. And the last question, I said 4, so the last one. Okay, so please can we hand the microphone to the Member of Parliament who has the first question earlier? Okay, sorry. Nanato Dazi has it.
Sorry.
Yes.
First of all, I think that to say NDC should not have an interest in what is happening in NPP is wrong. NDC, like every other Ghanaian, must be interested in what happens in both the NDC, the NPP, and every other party. Because the consequences of what happens out there affect all of us. Each party, it's very important. The democratic nature of the operations of each party is a constitutional demand, as we all do know. Each party must be run, democratically. Now, my worry, I don't know, maybe I've lost out a bit because I was out of the country. I do still get it, that's my question. How a democratically elected chairman and general secretary, can't be, even at the level of suspension, be suspended by a group other than the group that brought them into being. It is, please.
Okay,
please.
Your time is exhausted.
If I may,
your time is exhausted.
I think I'm entitled to ask a question.
No, your time is exhausted. But you are being asked that the president can be impeached. He doesn't take the populace to vote him.
I'm asking my question. If it's a no question, just give me an answer. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
But for my democratic right, I refuse to allow my question to be made a non-question. We must learn to be tolerant in this society. It's a problem that we face here.
Okay, thank you.
What is the constitutional basis for removing or suspending a chairman and a general secretary? Maybe you educate
we take
me.
a break here. When we return, we would quickly look at the president's choice of vice president again, and then we'll do that very briefly and move on to other matters that we have to discuss on this show this morning. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.